Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and we are here today on what is most definitely a glorious Monday, doing another live commentary. Now today we're actually going to be playing a little bit with the AWOL as well as the Holo Pilot, because these are the two things that actually received substantial changes, improvements, and revisions inside of the game's most recent patch that went live alongside of Colony Reborn. So I've got my Carnage lit out, this time rocking the Holo Pilot, and we are today flying the flag for the Purple Army. In case you guys still don't know who Iniquity is, awesome dude making some awesome content. I'll have his channel linked down in the pinned comment below. I think at this point though, Iniquity's built up more of a presence in the community than just about any other Titanfall YouTuber. Like, the dude is just charismatic as you know what, and people totally connect with that. So, on the other hand, we're running the AWOL. I don't really play with the AWOL ever, but we're going to give it a go anyways. We'll probably switch halfway between the match and give the AWOL a go. And yeah, we'll see where the cookie crumbles on that. Now, one of the things I wanted to point out that makes this Monday morning so glorious is that it is Monday morning. Right now, let me take a look at the time just to remember myself. It is 10:52 a.m. on a Monday morning, and there are over 8,000 players online in my region on the Xbox One. That number at this time of day, which is normally when I record my Monday live commentaries, usually sits at around 3,000 to 4,000 if we're lucky. Sometimes even down to 2,000 to 3,000. So it seems like player numbers have definitely expanded with that free trial weekend. A lot of people hopefully pick the game up. Like I said, one of the great things about the free trial was that Titanfall 2 has been pretty much infinitely on sale ever since like the fourth month of its release. We've been looking at like 50% off. I think Xbox Live was actually running a 50% off deal the entire time the game was running on its free trial this weekend. So I know at least 5 people who messaged me directly and said that they picked up the game, or people who I saw in the YouTube comments who said, just found your channel, just grabbed the game because of the free trial. So that's really exciting. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you know anyone personally, whether it be a friend, a coworker, or just someone you know on the internet who actually picked up Titanfall because of their time with the game during the free trial. I'd love to see just how many people grabbed the game. I think it was a lot. It looks like a lot of good numbers down there. Unfortunately, guys, we don't have much in the way of equipment. We're going to run our battery backup because we regened recently. So, again, we're getting there. All because of you guys. I still get comments in the videos. People are like, man, I thought you were like a higher gen, bro. Oh, it looks like we're going AWOL first. I really wanted to go Holo Pilot first, but we'll go AWOL. I'm going to go interior and then push out the back side here. That is the plan. Oh, man. All sorts of rust to scrape off here, guys. Some Mondays, right, I wake up, I do my Cold War match, and it's like the single best match I've had in months. I'll go like 35-4, and I'll be like, yeah, I couldn't get 30 kills on a normal day if you paid me. And then other days, it's like, nope, yeah, this is the first match of my day. This is how I play when I'm not doing really well. This is what you do at the AWOL, right? You just kind of put it down and you shoot people through it. That's the point. The unfortunate thing is that I'm not really in the best of positions here. You can get a couple rounds off on some guys here. It looks like we are being chased. Let's stick him with the Firestar like a true ninja, full of style. Hope you guys are getting those clips in as well, man. I've got a bunch of them already. A lot of them, to be honest, just kind of standard kill feed stuff. But there's a few really, just real gold winners in there, man. I actually have at least 5 or 6 that I think are just properly ace, and they're gonna make it a bit difficult to you know, pick that top 3. Some genuinely dope stuff with like the Firestar, and that's how we do it, right? Get ourselves a little bit of a mobile shield, get airborne, bring on the firepower. That's actually a really good Doxic song. I don't know if any of you guys know who Doxic is. Old school, well, not old school, but oldish, schoolish dubstep. I don't really listen to too much dubstep anymore, but man, that dude put out some nasty content. All right, we'll give it to like the 5-minute mark, depending on the score, and then we'll go ahead and swap over to our Holo Pilot. Now, I did want to talk a little bit about these two tacticals and how they were recently modified. The AWOL, of course, can be destroyed now, which is a pretty big deal. That was probably one of its strong points, was that people could lock down a position, and it was really just on a timer. And let's be honest, the timer for the AWOL is pretty powerful. Like, you could lay this thing down for a really long time and just go to town on people. So that was definitely something that needed to be taken care of. The great thing now about the It was the wrong time to crouch. I should have slid. The great thing about the AWOL now is that it really has a weak point. It has some sort of, you know, weakness you can actually expose when it's in its strongest position. So if you're just out in the open and you throw on the AWOL, that's great. You've got a piece of cover, but people can still flank you. You know, you're not indestructible at that point. You know, you can be taken out from just about anywhere still. Oh god, guys everywhere. That's when we should have thrown down the AWOL. You know, you could be flanked, so on and so forth, but when people lock down doorways, they lock down, you know, tight corridors, that's really where the problem starts to arise with it. So you're pretty much forced to make really large flanks in order to actually engage an enemy using an AWOL. That was the real issue, you know, where the thing really shined, is just being maybe a bit too powerful. So by allowing people to throw grenades, and you know, you can stick a fire star on it, you can actually do some damage now and destroy it. You know, you're really opening it up to be a little bit less strong in those instances. Whole lot of fail right there, guys. Whole lot of fail. I am sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a little slide hop going on and make our way out of there. It's a weird, it's just a weird tactical to use for me, because it doesn't really fit my playstyle typically. I think we'll go ahead and switch into Holo Pilot now. But I do like the idea of using Holo Pilot in a, like, sub-mobile environment, you know, in an environment where... I'm sorry, not Holo Pilot. AWOL, in a sub-mobile environment where you spend a lot of time being mobile, you use that to your advantage to get good positioning, and then you use the AWOL as, you know, basically cover and support when you want to really wreak havoc on a large group of players that aren't really being as aware as they should be. We had one more guy up this way. Oh, there he is, dead. There he is, deader than a doornail. I like it. I like it when they're deader than a doornail. Let's go ahead and call in our Scorch here. I'm gonna go ahead and just pop off a couple Holo Pilots to get some... Oh! Didn't really see the cluster missile. You know, I kind of heard it, but I didn't... I didn't see it. We did stick him with the fire star, which is always great, and fortunately we are not too far away from our Titan. Now the great thing about Holo Pilot now is that we actually have a name above our target's head, which basically separates it from being just another pointless, you know, Holo Pilot on the field. Whole lot of death there. Unfortunately, we're gonna get executed. Not sure where our team is Titan-wise there. I was expecting to have a little bit more support when I dropped my Titan in over yonder, but I guess they were just kind of making their way in. Bad Titan timing on my part, I guess you could say. I know when I dropped him initially, it was like a 1v1 situation there, so I wasn't really expecting the chaos that then ensued. Bad timing all around, though. We lost him. We lost him. We fell in the crevice, ladies and gentlemen. That guy is out of here. So, you know, putting a name tag on the Holo Pilot in a game where name tags are on every single enemy instantly makes it a more useful ability. And I've been outsmarted by it plenty of times at this point, and I'm sure you guys have. It is a really fun, just a goofy, strategic tactical at this point. And I quite like the way it rocks and rolls, you know? I like it a lot, actually. I mean, I thought it was kind of fun before, even when it was sort of pointless, because occasionally you'd still get that deke, you know? There was no surviving that, but we tried. We're actually really close here. We do got some guys doing some good support minions-wise. I probably could farm a little bit more in this match, because this is definitely not going to be a high kill match here, but that's okay. That's one of the things to note, especially about attrition. You know, it's nice when you get a match where you're not the only person in your team with double digits. You know, those are the matches that go by very quickly, and they feel like you didn't really put in as much effort as you normally would in a normal match. And that's actually a positive, you know. I think we get caught up in, like, wanting the 30 or 40 kills, which is cool, but that means that the rest of your team really probably did rubbish. Because if you're getting that many kills, then that means there's a whole lot of dudes alive all the time, and you're getting the picks, and your team isn't really doing much of anything. Or maybe they are, and you have one of the fastest matches of attrition or bounty hunt in the existence, but probably not. So it's always nice to see those double digits across the top of the leaderboard, even if it's only 2 players. You know, it does put us in a better position than their team is in. This is a weird match as well. Their team has been kind of complacent. They've been locking down like 1 or 2 positions, and that's how we got a lot of early game kills off them. They have no Titans even in their roster right now. I shouldn't have deployed my battery just yet. I don't know why. I was convinced there was going to be friendly Titans somewhere, but we actually have none on the field at all, and that's a whole lot of bad. Yeah, got me. Nicely done. The Red Storm with his L-Star. He's rocking and rolling the L-Star regardless. He's actually doing pretty well, so... He's been getting lots of good picks. He's gotten me a couple times, we know that. Speaking of the Red Storm, there he is in his North Star once again. He's getting those Titan drops quick. Let's go ahead and get ours in. So, it's still a little janky. I'd still like to see the Holo Pilot maybe taking up one additional notch. I don't think it would hurt for it to be able to, you know, have some additional mobility elements to it. I think that would be really cool. I don't think it'd make it, you know, overpowered. It would just be fun. But I think it's in a good place right now. You know, there's no reason to go changing something when it's just gotten improved. We'll see how it handles. A lot more people are using it. A lot of people having fun with it, and that's always a good thing, right? You know, the more tacticals that we have, the more relevant more tacticals are, the more diversity we have. And the more diversity we have, well, the more enjoyable the game's going to be for everyone, because you've just got more player choice. Which is, you know, why that game balance is so important, which is why we all need them to bring back the Volt. Let's be honest, we all want it. We want that Volt back. Alright, 4 Titans. We've got 3 and 2. I'm assuming they're all on this side of the map. We'll go make that push. There they are. We do have our core up if I can get in and get some nasty damage on here. And at least just get that eject on that Ion. Poor Ion, not doing nearly as much damage as I think thought she was going to do. That's one thing to note about cores in general that you should be really careful with, is to not deploy on, you know, full health Titans unless you really have no choice. Like, you feel like you're going to go down anyway, so you want to get that damage in. It just makes way more sense almost always to see what kind of damage you can do. You know, it's how we talked about this in the past with a lot of things in this game. It's very much the never hook first mentality, you know, that you have when you play Roadhog inside of Overwatch. Like, do the damage, get the enemy down where you want them, and then go ahead and worry about getting that killing blow with your core there, you know, getting that final bit of damage, or at least getting, you know, the 90% damage before things all hit the basket there. I love the way the Holo Pilot just runs in weird, super weird directions sometimes, though. If you're like standing still, just straight to the left, straight to the right, which I guess makes sense. You know, you'd want to see him just kind of break away to throw off the enemy, so you could technically use the Holo Pilot in a stationary environment, which is always interesting. Anywho, guys, looks like we brought ourselves a nice little victory there. Not going to get that guy, unfortunately. I'd like to support some of my team here with a battery, if we can get in without dying. Get our Titan in as well. It's going to be a whole lot of nope. Whole lot of nope as our guy's getting executed. Where's our Titan at? Where are you at, buddy? There he is. We can just get our... Get going off the wall quickly. Whip around that corner. Drop the battery. Get in our Titan. Here we go. Bada boom. Bada bang. We're going in for the kills. Not as many changes as I thought going to drop in the patch notes, right, for Colony Reborn. But I have to say I'm very happy with these small changes they did make. And I think Respawn is kind of looking at the game currently and saying, you know what, let's not just start wreaking havoc with every patch and making 20, 30 changes. Let's keep it to a minimum. Let's focus on things that maybe aren't relevant in the meta and see what we can do. And that's exactly what they did. You know, it's exactly what they did with Holo Pilot. And I really love the changes to the AWOL. I think I've never really hated the AWOL as much as other people do. It's just a matter of putting in the work and getting those flanks. But I also understand the frustration that comes from someone being able to lock down, like, a couple of the doorways on Complex, for example, can get really, really frustrating. And you end up having to make a lot of early game flanks that should have been early game pushes, you know, after you've already engaged the enemy one time. So I do see where the frustration comes from that, and having the AWOL actually be destructible, I think will mitigate some of that. You're still going to have issues with people feeding. People are still going to just feed people with AWOLs. It's what people do. So if we can get away from that mentality, then I think a lot less people will be a lot less frustrated with the AWOL in its now current state. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great Monday. I'd love to hear what your experience has been like with the new updated Holo Pilot and the new updated AWOL, whether you're using the AWOL or engaging people using the AWOL. Let me know what your experience has been like. Share some of your thoughts. If you guys want to talk a little bit more about your feelings with the Colony Reborn update as a whole, I know we've kind of had a weekend to talk about it. I'd love to hear how you feel now you put some more time in with the map, more time in with the you know, with some of the changes that we're seeing here. And of course, if you have a friend out there, a coworker, someone who picked up Titanfall 2 because of that free trial weekend, I definitely want to hear about that. As always, remember to play smart, remember to play to challenge yourself, but most importantly, remember to play for fun.